For thousands of years, people have tried to create the perfect or most ideal government. There have been several notable people throughout history whose philosophy has contributed to government politics. People like Plato, Aristotle, Aquinas, Kierkegaard, Locke, Hobbes, Marx, and so many more. Many of them are on this philosopher's iceberg, so we'll be revisiting them later on. But the question I want to explore throughout this video is whether or not philosophy and politics can actually be united, or if they are fundamentally at odds with each other. The most obvious first question that should be answered is, what is politics in the first place? A definition I came across is, the purpose of politics is to enable the members of a society to collectively achieve important human goals they cannot otherwise achieve individually. For me, this definition is directly derived from the Republic's Origin of Society, when Plato states that we live in societies because the individual is not self-sufficient, but has many needs which he can't supply himself. The next question that naturally came to mind was, if we were born in a political society, what are the political societies that a majority of the world lives in today? There are three main forms of government operating in the world today. Republics, which are a form of government in which a state is ruled by representatives of the citizen body. We have monarchies, which are based upon the undivided sovereignty or rule of a single person, and socialism, which aims for public ownership or control of property and natural resources. Further down this rabbit hole is, what are the important goals that each of these societies are achieving? In republics, the goals are fairness, common welfare, and freedom and prosperity. In monarchies, the goals are control of the money to prevent instability, and absolute power and authority to force the change they believe is necessary. And in socialism, the goals are social equality and distribution of wealth based on one's contribution to society. But the reality is, none of them work as intended. The next most important question to answer is, what is the purpose of philosophy? What is philosophy? Besides the general love of wisdom, it's usually accepted as unable to define, but an acceptable purpose of philosophy is to respond, reflect, reason, and reevaluate thoughts, ideas, notions, etc. on subjects such as ethics, knowledge, logic, ontology, and aesthetics. So what type of person studies and practices philosophy? A philosopher. Platonic philosophy teaches us of the tripartite soul, which is composed of reason or rationality, spirit, and desire. According to Plato, true philosophers do not allow their desires or their spirit to gain control over reason. Reason dictates what the spirit does and keeps desire at bay. True philosophers are focused on knowledge, pursuing the truth and everything else closely connected to wisdom. They're self-controlled, unafraid of death, not mean, ungenerous, boastful, or cowardly. Learning comes easily for them. They have a great memory, and they can grasp scales or magnitude really well. But if they have all of these great qualities, why are most philosophers rogue or live in austerity? Plato says, once a person tasted the happiness of philosophy and seen the frenzy of the masses, they understand that political societal life has virtually nothing sound about it, and that they'll find no ally to save them in the fight for justice. And if they're not prepared to join the others in their wickedness, and yet are unable to fight the general savagery single-handed, they are likely to perish like a man thrown among wild beasts, without profit to themselves or others, before they can do any good to their friends or society. When they reckon all this up, they live quietly and keep to themselves, like a man who stands under the shelter of a wall during a driving storm of dust and hail. They see the rest of the world full of wrongdoing and are content to keep to themselves, unspotted from wickedness and wrong in this life, and finally leave it with cheerful composure and good hope. But Plato doesn't stop there, because he inquires how great it would be if the true philosopher could fully develop their own salvation and that of the community, aka a union between philosophy and politics. And here we are again, back at square one, with the question if philosophy and politics can actually be united. For Plato, the ideal city is a philosophical aristocracy or monarchy, because of the ability to have absolute power and control over the residing citizens and the laws within it. We talked about this utopia in a previous video. Realistically, philosophy would contradict the goals of a republic, would be most beneficial in a monarchy, and would work in socialism, but with some hiccups. Yeah, I mean, that term philosopher king is exactly that. They're kings and queens, and they're only found in monarchies, and they're not found in socialist states or in a republic, obviously. But in my opinion, as I've been coming across these ideas and just thinking about it a little bit more, I started thinking, as unrealistic as it may be, I feel like we could implement some more philosophy inside any form of government to make it more philosophical. But why haven't we? You know, I'm sure I'm not the first person to think about it. I'm sure I won't be the last person either. But if we have tried to implement it, who has done that? And I would love if you guys could comment that down below. But I just wanted to know, like, what is stopping us, or what's preventing us from really making it happen? You know, is it greed? Is it laziness? Is it education? Or like in a business, for example, population size, you know, is there a certain point where it breaks, you know, and it needs to be restructured? And when I mean it breaks, I mean the original form of structure and organization has to have another layer within it in order for it to work, you know. But I'm not sure. I haven't found the answer yet. I have some ideas, but I need to do more research on that. So if you guys know, comment down below and let me know. For sure, I would love to read up on it, like I said. But that's all I have for you guys in this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, and I would love for everybody who is watching my videos to hit that subscribe button, because we are getting into some more interesting topics for sure, and it's just exciting. So I would love for you guys to join the party and see what we have in store. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.